Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Baina Midday News coming to you live from Benap House, Atomic Junction, Medina. Coming up this afternoon, government generated 1.19 billion from e-levy in 2023. This is according to the Deputy Finance Minister. Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagwin says caucuses in Parliament cannot appoint leaders independent of parties. And in sports this afternoon, Asamoah appointed to Ghana's Vice President Bawumia's Manifesto Committee. I'm Khadija Kubra Kailani. I'll be back shortly with details of the stories. Thank you for staying with us. Remember, this news is streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at Baina TV. Now, moving on to our first story. The Chief Executive Officer of the Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital, Professor Ochre Adai-Mensah, has disclosed that over 200 nurses and other health professionals left the hospital in the year 2023. The CEO lamented that the departure of the health workers is negatively affecting the smooth operation of the facility.
During an interaction with Finance Minister Mohammed Amin Adam and his team during a tour of the facility, Professor Adai-Mensah appealed to the government to allow authorities to replace departed staff to enhance service delivery. He said, in the past year, they have had over 200 nurses leave Komfo Anokye. Every day, he had to approve 3 to 5 applications for either leave of absence or resignation, mostly nurses, radiographers, and medical laboratory scientists. They are praying that they should be allowed to replace these people who are leaving so that they can continue with the care that are supposed to be given to their patients. The hospital also grapples with an acute equipment deficit, for which Professor Ochre Adai-Mensah urged the government to commit to retooling the various departments. One of the major things they are facing is the retooling of the hospital. He said they are aware of the difficulties that the government had concerning COVID-19 and others. Still, they believe that it is also possible for some help to be extended as far as retooling is concerned, especially given the fact that they are serving 12 regions.
Away from that, an Accra High Court hearing the trial of former Cocoa Board boss Dr. Stephen Opuni and businessman Seidu Agongo has been told that the docket, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, handed over to the Ghana Police Service to continue with investigations on Litovet foliar fertilizer, included the second test result from the Ghana Standard Authority, which confirmed that Litovet is indeed a fertilizer.
The revelation in a sharp contrast with claims by the 7th prosecution witness, Detective Chief Inspector Thomas Prempeh Mensah of the Police CID, who told the court under cross-examination on Monday, March 15, 2021 that IOCO failed to include that report. Chief Inspector Prempeh was therefore confronted with the IOCO's investigator's statement, which mentioned the fact that a second credible report was conducted on Lithovit. The statement was subsequently tendered through Chief Inspector Prempeh with objection from the prosecution and was marked as Exhibit 75, only for it to be rejected suo motu by the then trial judge, Justice Clemens Jackson Honyenugwa, in his chambers while ruling on the submission of no case, effectively putting it out of reach of the accused persons. Meanwhile, the second test report in question was subsequently tendered on 20th February 2024 through Mr. Paul Ejay Jan, who led the IOCO's investigating team as the head of Organized Crime Unit and marked as Exhibit 133 of A2 and A3. The report is the result of a directive by the then Executive Director of IOCO, who instructed that a second report should be carried on Lithovit in the presence of all parties, supplier and complainant, that is Cocoa Board, after a previous test result conducted without the knowledge of the suppliers was contested. Interestingly, the CID investigator conveniently tendered in evidence the report which content was challenged, together with another discredited report from the University of Ghana, leaving the second report, which returned a positive result on Lithowit. An Accra High Court hearing the trial of former Cocoa Board boss Dr. Stephen Opuni and businessman Seidu Agongo has been told that the docket the Economic and Organized Crime Office handed over to the Ghana Police Service to continue with investigation on Lithowit foliar fertilizer included the second test result from the Ghana Standard Authority, which confirmed that Lithowit is indeed a fertilizer.
And in business, Deputy Minister of Finance Dr. John Kumah has disclosed that the government collected a total of 1.19 billion Ghana cedis in revenue from the e-levy for the year 2023. Dr. John Kumah made these remarks in response to the latest figure from the Ghana Statistical Service, which indicated that over 1 million Ghanaian youth were unemployed during the media launch of the Wealth and Jobs Expo Ghana.
Dr. John Kumah revealed that the government allocated funds for the e-levy to its YouStart program, the Ghana Enterprise Agency, and the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program to combat unemployment in the country. The Ghana Statistical Service on Wednesday announced that about 1.5 million Ghanaian youth are unemployed. Last year, e-levy generated 1.19 billion Ghana cedis, and as part of dealing with the unemployment situation, government has committed funds through YouStart from these e-levy sources to GEA and NEIP to address the unemployment situation in the country. Dr. John Kumah further highlighted the government's effort in attracting investment into the country while spurring job creation, emphasizing the need to believe in entrepreneurship to address the unemployment rate. According to him, in the medium term, the government aims to intensify efforts to attract domestic investment and foreign direct investments in strategic centers with emphasis on creating jobs anchored on the government's growth strategy. The strategy is projected to contribute to creation of approximately 500,000 jobs.
Meanwhile, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahin Edu, has said cocoa prices are currently doing well on the international markets, hence Ghana will experience a better picture of its local market. He noted that the cocoa sector in Ghana performed poorly between the period 2017 and 2020 due to the collapse of prices on the world market by 30%.
Cocoa production went up in 2020. The prices were not the best on the international market, a situation that affected the local market as well, he added. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, recently said that the state-owned entity mandated with facilitating cocoa production and exercising export monopoly has long registered losses due to the absence of a systematic mechanism for setting producer purchase price. Significant quasi-fiscal activities, roads construction and input subsidy programs, and large administrative costs. The debt accumulated by Cocoa Board over the past few years became too expensive to service and had to be restructured. Appearing before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament on Tuesday, February 20th, over 2 million Ghana cedis lost in 2021, Mr. Joseph Boahin Edu said the cocoa sector is on the path of a turnaround. Cocoa Board's financial situation is dictated by the international market price, that is the world cocoa price, and from 2017 to the date in question, prices of cocoa in the world market had collapsed by 30%. He said in 2020 that is also when there was the highest reduction. So when the prices collapsed at the time there had been an increase in yield, definitely direct costs and inventory went up, whereas the revenue generated went down. That is what explains the huge deficit for that period. Essentially, there was a record production, but prices at the international market did not favor Ghana.
And now in politics, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has clarified that caucuses in the House cannot appoint their leaders independent of the sponsoring parties. According to him, members of Parliament are in the House on the ticket of political parties. Therefore, it's not proper for legislators to appoint leaders without the party's input. The comments by the Speaker followed brief tensions between the majority caucus and the executive after it emerged that there were moves to reshuffle the leadership of the majority caucus.
Speaking on the floor of Parliament on February 21st, Alban Bagbin argued that legislators were constantly changed, some of whom were either in their first, second or third term. Therefore, they cannot by themselves choose who is best suited to occupy such leadership positions. He said, political parties give the platforms to members of Parliament and therefore must lead the processes in the appointment of caucus leaders. He, however, cautioned that all of the processes should be done in accordance with the constitutional as well as legislative provisions that bind and compel parties and their choices of leadership to be national in character. His comments follow some majority MPs led by the first Deputy Speaker, Joseph Osei Owusu, suggesting that no one outside Parliament can change the leadership of the majority caucus. Mr. Osei Owusu made these comments on February 20th following rumors of a potential reshuffle of the leadership of the majority caucus, with the suggestion that the majority leader, Osei Mensah Bonsu, was to be replaced by his deputy Alexander Afenyo-Markins. In a related development, the majority leader and member of parliament for the Swami constituency in the Ashanti region, Osei Mensah Bonsu, has formally relinquished his role as the leader of the majority caucus in parliament. The Swami MP willingly offered to step down during a meeting of the NPP caucus in parliament and the executive, including President Akufo-Addo. The deputy majority leader and MP for Efutu, Alexander Afenyo-Markins, will assume the leadership position.
And now in sports, former captain of the Black Stars, Asamoah Gyan, has been appointed as a member of Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's Manifesto Committee. Specifically, Gyan will be responsible for developing policies related to youth and sports, leveraging his extensive experience and knowledge in these areas. Gyan's appointment comes as no surprise, given his recent involvement in politics and his presence at the UPSA auditorium when Bawumia delivered his vision statement ahead of the 2024 general elections.
The legendary footballer has long been regarded as a role model and an icon in Ghana, and his influence could potentially extend beyond the realm of sports and into the political arena. As Ghana's all-time top scorer with 51 goals, Gyan's impressive career and achievement have earned him widespread recognition and respect. His 6 goals for Ghana at the FIFA World Cup make him the most lethal forward in the history of the tournament, cementing his status as a national hero. While Gyan's entry into politics may be seen as a positive development by some, it could also spark criticism for opposition parties. Nonetheless, his involvement in the Manifesto Committee represents a valuable opportunity for him to contribute to the development of policies that can benefit Ghana's youth and sports sector. If Bawumia becomes president, Gyan may indeed play a significant role in shaping the country's future in these areas.
And this is where we end our midday news. For more stories, log on to our website www.bainamultimedia.com. I'm Khadija Tukubra Keilani. Have a good afternoon.